Okay. Um, yeah, we're live. We're live now. Yep, wait, I'm gonna check it. Okay, there you go. We're live. Hello, guys. I'm sorry. Yep, I'll put my mic camera. Yes. Okay.
Sorry, I'm drinking my.
Hello, excuse me, Mel. Just gonna mute you. Okay, so welcome to our another episode of Mandy Speaking Mock Test. So, guys, it's already July 2021 now. How has it been? It's very fast, right? How about Monday? It's already July now. So I think we're already half of 2021.
Yeah, we're in the second half. It's hard
Yeah.
to believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So for everyone who's watching right now on
Oh, happy
Facebook
Canada
and
Day, Mimi.
as well as on Zoom participants, I would just like to say hi and hellos, and especially to our co-admins Marvin and Gladys. I think they cannot made it today, so I'm gonna work double time. Okay. So yeah, let's begin. So our first candidate I would like to call Neil. Neil, can you turn on your microphone and camera?
Yeah.
And
Hello,
happy
Neil.
Canada Day, right? That's what Mimi says today is happy Canada Day.
Canada.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is. It's Happy Canada Day today. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we don't have activities like from previous years.
Oh.
Neil, are you in Canada right now?
Yes, I'm in Canada
We're
right
in
now.
Canada. Just only a quick question.
Oh, I live in Port Coquitlam. It's like 30 minutes away to Vancouver.
Okay, near to Vancouver.
So we were
okay,
talking that
Andy.
I'm on the East Coast in Florida and Mill is on the West Coast, like on the California side.
Okay, I will
Yeah,
give you the
California
floor,
side.
Mandy. Okay,
All
let's
right.
begin.
Let's get started. Okay, and hello to Sakshi as well. Thank you for saying hi. All right, so Mill, we're going to start with part one. Let's get going. Do you like eating a variety of food at home?
Oh, yes. I really like to explore more food, especially from different country. Well, at home, I cook since I'm from the Philippines. I cook Asian, mostly Asian foods. But honestly, since my kids grown up here in Canada, they like mostly the Canadian food or any like food mostly can be buy outside, like the fast food. You know, teenagers now and kids nowadays is different from the past.
Good. All right, and what famous buffet would you really like to try?
Well, of course, if you want to ask me what famous food that I'm going to try, especially particularly the buffet, I would choose the Asian food. First of all, because especially the Chinese food, that we have a lots of variety to choose, and the food is tasty here. I don't know why. That's why maybe most of the people really like and coming back all the mostly the Asian restaurants, especially the buffet, and the food are fresh, most especially the veggies, and they have different types of seafoods. The way they cook, very delicious. And I remember the last time, I guess it was last year. It was my birthday, and we went to the restaurant, and I can't like can't believe it. Like I almost fully just like half of the plate, and the food is really delicious. And you know, it's kind of I don't know what they put there, the ingredients. I don't know because it seems like you're really addicted with the food. You're really coming back and forth to grab some more food.
And are you willing to spend a amount of money to eat in a fancy restaurant? And why or why not?
For me, well, it depends. If really important occasion, I don't mind to spend more amount of money. But if it is like because I'm a really practical person, so in terms of choosing the best restaurant, yeah, if it is like special occasion like birthday or anniversary, yeah, I would like to choose like a decent restaurant which is a very nice and amazing ambience. And because when I'm choosing a right restaurant or a right dining or a dining place or a maybe restaurant or a hotel that it has a very nice ambience and the quality of food, I would rather to choose and to do research more about the place where we're going supposed to go.
Good. All right. And we're going to move on to part two. Are you ready? As ready as you'll ever be.
honestly, honestly, I'm quite a bit nervous, but
That's
I will try.
okay. That's okay. Excuse me. Let me get my timer really quick. And we're going to put a
uh,
minute up after I read it. And I'm also going to put it into the chat for everybody else as well. So if can you see it on the screen okay, Mel?
yeah, although there's a part that I can't read because maybe of my
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
there you
okay.
go. A group or group report. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Yep, I'm going to read it out loud to you. I'm also going to put it in the chat and on the Facebook as well. So, describe a high school or college solo or group report class presentation. So, you should say what topic you presented, when it was, how did you prepare, and what was the outcome of the presentation. And you can have a minute to prepare now.
Okay.
Okay, so that is 1 minute. Let me turn my timer up a little bit louder. All right. And Mill, when you are ready, I will start the 2 minute timer and you can start speaking.
Okay, I guess I'm ready.
Go right ahead.
I'd like to talk about a solo or a report that was presented during my college days. I guess it was way back 1993. No, 1980. So we were presented a class presentation because that was part of our requirements as a prerequisite going to before our graduation. So the teacher would grade us how we able to present, and the title of that presentation, it was like young age women during their pregnancy. So we have a certain criteria that was like we were selected about women when they're with your age between their 50s, 15 to 20s. So they're really, really young. And then our goal that the report is to present with them or to get an idea how really how really healthy they are bearing a child when they were not their appropriate or not kind of not real age when to giving birth or they're bearing a child. So it was presented before our graduation, like a week before our graduation. And then we prepared it with 10 classmates or with our group. We have 10 classmates. And there was also, we had a two men. So we know that if you're taking a course of a medical profession such as nursing, so it's kind of for them it's kind of so weird or something like.
That's your timer. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. It is odd for. Yeah, it's unusual.
Oh,
Very good. I'm sorry to cut you off. So I'm going to put the time there. Um, did you
mhm.
have anything else that you wanted to say that you were thinking you would conclude with? Like,
We
how was the
present
out? Yeah, go
we
ahead.
the yeah yeah before that we interview the young women, and then we presented we present a educational such as like education interviews, and then kind of a short lecture about during pregnancy. So yeah, after that it was really fulfilling and more educational to them. So they learn a lot about that presentation, and they were able to. They said they are happy. They were happy because they can apply what they learned about the educational lecture.
Excellent. Good. All right. Well, let's move on to part three, and then we will go over all of it when we're done. So, Mill, do you think online class is more effective than face to face? And why or why not?
Well, of course, maybe it depends because at this time of pandemic, mostly our educational instruction this time, we people are on computer even at work. So it's kind of but comparing between the two, I would rather to choose the face-to-face schooling because first of all, I can concentrate while I'm a kind of person where I really want to go to school in person, and I want to see a person who's discussing in front of me. But it depends maybe with a kind of person if you really which one is more or it depends with the kind of person which both of the two are really engaging and really informative, or you can learn more better than schooling or online. On the other hand, online, it is it's easy access. What I mean to say is you can just wear any comfortable clothes like pajama, and then you can just in front in your computer without thinking about the traffic and ready to get up, or you can have even your mug and a sip of cup of coffee. But in terms of yeah, but in terms of the way you learn, maybe it depends with the person because though it is online, but yeah, you can also learn if you're alone, or yeah, as I said, it depends with the person.
Good. Okay. And what do you think that the government should do to decrease the unemployment rate for fresh graduates? So let me say it one more time. What do
Um,
you think the government should do to decrease the unemployment rate for fresh graduates?
to my mind, I guess government they should provide like jobs to the fresh graduate, even though it's a little bit lower wages or salary, just to accommodate them to give or to provide a job opportunities. Or it could be those baby boomers, that's what they said. Maybe they should encourage them to less their hours of certain types of job, like instead of having a full time, we should give them a part-time hours just to accommodate for those fresh graduate. Or it could be government should like encourage more investors to to encourage more investors to have a kind of business with the government, so there will be more opportunities to the fresh graduates, especially the young people who's looking for a job.
Good. And do you agree that every nation should accept migrant workers? And why or why not?
Well, I guess yeah, of course, because first of all, I am a migrant worker, so yeah, because in every nation, for me, it's kind of like we should give other opportunity to other people, though we have different background, we have different countries, but when they want to come to a certain country, let's say for example, if they want to go to North America or in Europe, well, that country they should give a opportunity to that person or to that people if they have to fulfill their dreams first of all, and then if they have a good background with a very highly skilled person, a very either good background of education, and yeah, they can compete with that country, and they will have more opportunities to offer.
Good. And that concludes the speaking portion of the test. You can take a breath.
I don't know if I answer much,
That's
Mandy, but I
okay.
guess
That's okay. We'll talk
that's
about it.
that's
We'll
the
talk.
thing I come to my mind.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll talk about it. We'll get it all focused. I know you have a lot of ideas going there. So I think that's just the main thing. The things that you've got going for you right away. Your pronunciation is almost 100% correct. Almost 100%. There was like one word that I heard. And you speak so calmly and so clearly. You don't sound
Oh,
rushed.
thank you.
You don't sound nervous. You just sound very calm and natural. So I don't know if this is just how you are in life. Like if there's a fire burning, you're just like, that's okay. We'll take care of this fire. And, you know,
No, definitely not.
but you
Yeah.
have that aura of just the calmness and you know what you're doing. So these are some good things that you have going for you. What I would love to work on is for you to, one, when you start a sentence, to complete it, even if it's
Yeah.
not where you wanted to go, but think of way to complete it or a way to take a detour from it. So if you started down
Okay.
this road of a sentence that you thought, oh, that's not really what I wanted to say, or I don't know how to end that, what can I say so that I can move on to what I really want to say or what sounds better? Or to complete
Okay.
that sentence rather than just leaving it hanging out there and leaving all of these
Yeah.
hanging sentences, because that makes it
Yeah.
sound like you are disorganized. And I know you're not. You are maybe over inundated with ideas.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
this is a problem that a lot of our Filipino nurses and people have is you all just have such a wealth of knowledge. And anyone in this group, you're just overwhelmed with so much knowledge. But it's okay to only focus on one or two small
Yeah.
things. You don't have to go so
Hmm.
big, um, because it doesn't matter how academic your answer is or how fantastic or what a great idea it is. It just matters that you can present it clearly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Makes
but
sense.
I'm not saying you did anything wrong. But
Yeah.
I want to
No,
work
it's
on
okay.
completing
Yeah.
a sentence when you've started it. And the only word I had in here, other people can, chime in if they thought you mispronounced something. Um, it was, you were talked about going to a decent restaurant. So I heard decent restaurant.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Decent.
and just be careful because there's the word decent, like, oh, that's a decent
Yeah.
restaurant. Or you can have a descent, which means you're going to go downward. So let's take a descent
Oh,
down the
yeah.
hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're
Just like,
spelled very different, like not just one letter different, but yeah. So
yeah,
it's just,
the one with the S.
yep, that's descent.
So yeah, descent.
Yeah, and you said
I
you
know.
you wanted to say a decent restaurant, you know. You said you didn't have a
Yeah,
problem going to a
because
decent restaurant. And it didn't sound like
okay.
dissent, but I was just saying
Uh-huh.
it didn't sound like decent and it didn't sound like dissent. So I want to make sure you push it all the way to a decent
Yeah.
restaurant, which means a good
Mm-hmm.
restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone
A
doesn't
good
know
restaurant.
what decent means, it means, oh, that's a decent restaurant. That's a good restaurant. It's well known, it's reputable.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I put it in the chat for decent. So now everyone go use it in
Okay.
a sentence.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so let's get started on your answers. Do you like eating a variety of food at home? And you said, oh, yes, I really like to explore more food, especially from different country. So you want to say different countries.
Countries.
Yeah, and then you said, well, at
Yeah.
home, since I'm from the Philippines, sorry. Well, at home, since I'm from the Philippines, I cook mostly Asian foods. But honestly, since my kids grew up here in Canada, they like mostly the Canadian food or mostly the fast food. They sound like typical American teenagers to me. So,
Yes.
yeah, they're
True.
not too much different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, you know, teenagers nowadays are mostly different from the past. So just make sure that when you
Mm-hmm.
mention they're like teenagers, just that one little blurb about them is good. Don't keep going on about teenagers and what teenagers eat, because then you're getting off of the topic of variety of food
Topic.
at home. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think you answered really good. Oh, yes, I really like to explore more food, especially from different countries. You said, well, at home, since I'm from the Philippines, I cook mostly Asian food. But honestly, since my kids grew up here in Canada, they like mostly Canadian food or fast food. And then you can end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can say, you know, I've been trying, we're trying since we're home during the pandemic, we're trying to eat a healthier variety or healthier, you know, something at home. Or maybe you're not.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next one, what famous buffet would you really like to try and why? So this is a hard question, Jeff. I don't know if you did these or Gladys did these, but what if a person doesn't have a buffet? You did them? Okay. So, Mill,
Sure.
we can
Mm.
blame Jeff, but Mill, if anyone is not familiar with what a buffet is, can you explain really quickly what a buffet is?
Oh, a buffet restaurant it's a fine dining restaurant where
Hmm.
you can see a lots of variety of foods, and it's kind of unlimited food in your plate. You can
So the main
come
difference
back and forth
is
again.
if you went to what's called a sit down restaurant, what happens at a sit down restaurant? They bring the food to you, right?
Yeah, you will just order. They will
Hmm.
presented you a menu, and you
Hmm.
can choose which food you're going to order. While a buffet restaurant it's just up there. They just like display of different kinds of
Yeah.
foods, and you can choose
There's
something like
usually
that.
a long case of food, right? One is usually hot,
Yeah,
one is usually cold, and
yeah,
the dessert section is always the busiest because all the kids.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's
Exactly.
basically a serve yourself. You pay a higher price than you would if it was one meal, but that is because you can eat unlimited, right?
Yeah.
And what is the main rule that I hate at buffets? No sharing, right? No sharing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a few famous buffets in the United States, but I don't know if they're common in everywhere in the world. So you said, well, of course, if you ask me what kind of food I'd like to try, especially the buffet, I'd like to try the Asian food, especially the Chinese food. So you're right, the Chinese buffet is very popular. You said the
Yeah.
food is tasty here. That's maybe why most of the people like coming here. And the food they have is fresh, and they have different types of seafood. The way they cook, very delicious. So the way they cook, and just make sure you say the way they cook is very delicious.
Oh,
And I liked
okay.
how you did this here, which is a great strategy. You said, I guess I remember the last time I went to the restaurant, and you talked about your birthday. Um, and you said, I can't believe it. I almost full, or I almost was full, or I was almost full, and I only ate half of the plate. So you had only gotten half a plate and you were already full up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you can
Maybe
definitely,
because, yeah, so sorry to interrupt
yeah,
you. Maybe
no,
because sometimes if you're going to the buffet, you can smell different kind of, from the food, and then
yeah.
sometimes you will be full.
I know whenever we used to go, if my parents told us
Mhm.
we were going to go, my sister and I'd be like, no breakfast and no lunch. We're going to eat as much as we can at the buffet, you know. We're going to just have all three meals at once, which we all know the stomach doesn't work that way. You can't just
Yeah,
put all meals at
kind
once.
of that's kind of thing, Mandy, because if you're going to sitting restaurant like the one I said, that you will order what food you're going to eat. So if there's leftover, you can bring it home. While if you're eating in the buffet, well, you cannot do that, right?
Yeah, no, there's no leftovers and
As
no
much as you
sharing.
can, yeah, eat as much as you can, but you can't bring anything going home.
Oh, please. I
Yeah,
know that someone's mom, like my mom, has been like, put this bread roll in your bag. Let's take this bread roll
I
home.
know.
We all admit that, right?
Actually, I don't want to mention the one earlier to you because I thought that it's just only a typical Filipino doing that. But
No,
good thing,
no,
good thing I hear from you.
no.
It's
That
kind
is
of
the
shameful.
child
Like,
who's
oh my god,
that is the typical child whose parents were not wealthy and were like, get all the food you can. Bring some ketchup with you too. We need that at home later.
I know, I know. Even because there are like dessert where they can put in the a small thing like a candies
Oh,
or
yes,
a
yes.
special delicacy. So you just bring it
We
at
could
home
have a
and put it
whole
inside your
just
bag.
conversation on all the things that my mom has made me
Yeah.
steal from restaurants. So,
Oh, good to know. We're not the only people who did that one,
no,
Mandy.
no, you're not the only people. It is not only
Yeah.
a Filipino thing. You don't
Yeah.
have the, the only, you're not the only people that do that. Trust me. Yeah, I think it's anyone
Mm-hmm.
who's ever maybe at one point in their life been like, oh, I don't have a lot of money right now. So where's the next meal going to come from? So let's
I
all go to the
know.
buffet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this one was good. So I really liked how you focused on that idea. So I would start in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
and be very quick about what kind of buffet. You said, oh, if you asked me about what kind of buffet I like, hands down, absolutely a Chinese food buffet. And they have
Okay.
fresh food, excellent varieties of seafood, and the way they cook is so delicious. And then jump right into your story. I remember the last time, I guess it was probably my birthday, when we went to a Chinese buffet, and I couldn't believe it. So, in your past tense, I couldn't believe it. I only
Uh-huh.
ate half of a plate and I was almost already full. And you said, I don't know what is in the ingredients. I can't tell you, but whatever they put in there makes you keep coming back for more. So, those Chinese buffet workers know what they're doing.
Yeah. But it's true, right? Did you agree that one?
Oh, I definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just a brief intro on what kind of buffet you like, Chinese food, and why, and then go into your story because that story is your strongest point where you have the most information. And that's really good for
Yeah.
all of part one is if you're able to give specific stories, it helps you focus and not go here and there and here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have
Mm-hmm.
something specific to talk about, you can really stay focused. So, when you were talking about the third one, are you willing to spend a large amount of money to eat in a fancy restaurant? Why or why not? So, you kind of gave me a vague overview. You said, well, for me, it depends. If it's a really important occasion, I don't mind to spend more amounts of money because I'm really a practical person in terms of choosing the best restaurant. But if it's a special occasion, which you had already said, so if it's a celebration or a wedding, you could give a specific occasion, then yeah, I'd like to choose a decent restaurant. And you said I am it's when I'm choosing a dining place or maybe a restaurant or a hotel that has a very nice ambiance and quality of food. Um, and then you're kind of going on a few different topics here, but can you in your mind, Mill, think of a specific time that you all, I guess you would call it splash out, that you splashed out or you splurged at a fancy restaurant? So was there an occasion, like a birthday or a wedding, that your family did that?
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
Sorry again. Pardon me.
Yeah, when was the last
Would you-
time? So, was there any time in the recent past that you remember spending a little extra money at a fancy restaurant? Was it maybe for an anniversary or um
Um, well, since it's pandemic, so we can't really choose a very high-end or expensive restaurant inside the hotel or something like that. But actually, last no 3 days ago, because it was my husband's birthday, so we went to the restaurant. But it's not really a huge or a big amount when I paid the meals.
okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you could actually take that story and you can make it
Uh-huh.
be like a big part, a big expense. So nobody is going to
Okay.
check your bill and say, actually just 3 days ago we celebrated my husband's birthday and we went all out.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't hold anything back and we got him a 3-course meal and at this restaurant with a wonderful ambiance and great quality of food. And yeah, I think when
Mm-hmm.
it's a special occasion like that, a birthday or a wedding, I think I am willing to spend a little bit of extra money to eat at some place fancy. So,
Okay.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
can some people might say why. Some reasons why would be because it makes that person feel special, because I don't have to clean up dishes at home, so that's worth it to me. If I don't have to
Yeah.
clean up and I don't have to do the
Yeah.
cooking, so that way I can just spend time
Yeah.
with that person. So, yeah, there's lots of
Yeah.
reasons why.
So, Mandy, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt
go
you.
right
I have a
ahead.
question. So,
Sure.
for the part one, because yeah, you said to me that I have lots of idea trying to say, so I did not even finish some of my sentences. So, because I was scared, like I feel a little bit scared if I don't have say something like to say more something, so that's end up like another ideas, and then I did not quite, sometimes it's kinds of going to off topic.
hmm
So typically, literally, how many sentences in part one?
Well, at the rate that you're speaking, you can get a lot in. I think Jeff wants to say something here. I see it in your face.
No, it's just for part one, at least 2 to 3 sentences. As long as you
Okay.
can give your direct answer and explain why and make a little description. So that's it. You're fine. This is not a part
So
two question that you need to
yeah,
really dig
two
in
minutes
or give
yeah.
more a lot of information. So
Mhm.
yeah, 2 to 3. But the
So
most
you mean, sir,
important is
after,
go.
sorry. So you mean after I say it in a one or two sentences, I will just full stop? That's
Yeah,
what you
that's enough.
mean?
Make sure that the way you deliver, it's like you're going to stop the sentence.
So, yeah, you can give them some clues, Mill, that says you're going to stop. So, let's take that last question. Are
Okay.
you willing to spend a large amount of money to eat in a fancy restaurant and why? Um, Absolutely. I think that it depends on the occasion, but if it is, say, for instance, a birthday, I would definitely splash out on eating at a fancy restaurant. Just 3 days ago, my husband had his birthday and we took him to, I'm just going to name a place. We took him to Outback Steakhouse. I don't think that's very fancy, but anyway, we took him to Outback Steakhouse and it is his favorite restaurant. It's a little bit pricey, but the ambiance is wonderful. The staff is very friendly and they have all of his favorite foods. So
Mm-hmm.
while I don't like to eat out and spend a lot of money all of the time, when it's a special occasion, it's worth it to me because that person feels loved and cherished. And besides
Special.
that fact, I don't have to clean up dishes.
Oh
So,
yeah,
and then
that's
you can
true.
end, you know. So,
Okay.
yeah, you don't have to say a whole lot. But when you say how many sentences, that's hard to say because some people's sentences are straight sentence, but you speak at a little
Mm-hmm.
bit higher and more complex level where you add clauses to your sentence. So in the very beginning, you said,
Mm-hmm.
well at home, and then you have this clause, since I'm from the Philippines, and then you go on, I
Oh.
like to cook mostly Asian food. So that for some people, they would put that into 2 sentences, but you know how to insert that clause and make it into one sentence. So to say how many sentences is difficult to give an answer because someone's sentence can be quite long and someone's can be quite short. I think you should go for, did I say what the answer is? Did I give a small example? And have I indicated that I'm done speaking in some way? So you
Okay.
can kind of beginning, middle, and end, intro, body, conclusion, if you're going to add like the writing section. If that
Right.
makes more sense to you. Sorry. I mowed the grass yesterday, so now I have grass in my eye. Okay. Some allergies now. So let's look at part 2. Describe a high school or college solo or group report class presentation. And I wanted to clarify because at the very end, it sounded like did you give this report to a group of women who were in their 15 to 20s, or did you give it about a group of women?
Group of women, about a group of women.
So it was about a group of women, or was it given, who was the presentation made to? Was it just for your class, for your professor?
No, to the group of women in the community, in the neighborhood.
Very good. Okay. So that's what I wanted to make sure. So you said, I'd like to talk about a report that was presented during my college days. So you want to say, I want to talk about a report that I presented during my college, that I presented or that I gave during my college days. You said it was way back in, and you said the date. We were presented a class presentation that was part of our requirements as a requisite before going our graduation, and the teacher would grade us. So you were not presented a class presentation, but you were assigned. So your teacher assigned something to you. So she kind of gave you homework, right? Or a big assignment, right? So you could kind of say, our teacher gave us an assignment to make a presentation to women in the community. So you want to make sure you say who it was given to. We were supposed to, or we needed to talk to women between the ages of 15. Was it only 15 to 20 or 15 to their 20s?
20s.
20s. Okay. So we need to talk to women between the ages of 15 to their 20s. And the goal of the report, and I liked how you said that. You said our goal of the report is to get, so we're going to say was to get an idea how really healthy they are when bearing a child, when they are and you said when they are not at a real age. So I know what you're saying here, but I'm not a nurse. So when someone is having a baby and they are
maybe it's
ideal age. Ideal? There you go.
Ideal
age. Yeah, it's a sensitive topic because you don't want to say, you don't want to say you're too young to have a baby. But really you are. So you wanted to talk with them about their health when they are that young and giving birth. Were these women already pregnant, or was it just the possibility that they could be pregnant?
Both, like they
both,
were pregnant and there's a possibility.
Yeah. So you said the goal was to talk, the goal of the report or the goal of the presentation was to maybe share with them or to show them how to maintain a healthy pregnancy at such a young age, at a certain age. And you could say we talked about the complications of giving birth to a child when your body is not fully formed, because that's a problem, right? 15-year-olds usually aren't wide enough to have a baby. And we had to talk with them about, prenatal vitamins and visiting their doctor.
I know I did not answer well the part.
No, it's okay. But you have the overall idea, but you want to just try to specifically remember. So I know for part 3, we have opinion, reason, example. But when we're talking about part 2, we try to answer those who, what, when, where, why, and how questions. So they call them the WH, even though how is a H only. So what was the topic? When was it? how you prepared, and what was the outcome. So
Okay.
if we went with that, we can say, in my high school, in my college days, we had to give a lot of presentations. But the one that I remember the most is
Mm-hmm.
one that we had to present to a group of young women on healthy pregnancy at young ages. And then you've covered
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot right there. There were about
Yeah.
10 people in our group, and we also had two men in our group. So it was a little bit awkward for them talking about
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
besides that, we spent time interviewing young women. We gave a short lecture about pregnancy and how to maintain your health. And you could say one more thing that you talked about. And so you want to also try to see if you can get to the outcome. The women were very thankful for this presentation that we gave to them. And how did your
Mhm.
group grade? Mill, did your teacher give you a good grade?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, I passed. And you said you can say on top of that, we got a wonderful grade from our professor. And she said we
Mhm.
did, an excellent job presenting this
Yeah.
information to these women. Um, you know,
Mhm.
and then you could talk about, how that kind of presentation made you feel at that time if you needed more time. So you could say, I was actually quite nervous to talk to these women about pregnancy, especially when I
Mm.
had never had a baby myself. But
Yeah. Yeah.
after it was over, it was really great and we had some wonderful friendships. And this
Mhm.
presentation or this, lecture that I had to prepare with my classmates actually helped me for my future job. So, or maybe it
Yeah.
didn't. you know. So did it have any impact on what you did after that?
Well, yeah, there is because it will apply when it applied when I was having a baby when I was
Yeah.
pregnant. So
Yeah, so you
yeah,
can
of
say,
course. Yeah.
actually, this information came in handy when I was pregnant myself a few years later or years later,
Uh-huh.
and it came in quite handy. So, I'm kind of thankful to my teacher for making me do this. And then you can, probably be at
Uh-huh.
your 2 minutes. If you don't have enough time, um, and you still have more talking that you need to do, you could say, in
Mhm.
the future or, you know, now that I'm in, whatever job you do now I
Mhm.
would like to, this has really piqued my interest in pregnancy in older women. So I already have talked about pregnancy in quite young women, and I would like to maybe do some research into pregnancy and how you can maintain a healthy
Mhm.
pregnancy when you're over 35, or
Mhm.
40 or something like that. So, but you see
Yeah.
how you give such minute detail. Like I feel like you were going to go in and tell me the names of the two men and how it was awkward. Just kind of give that surface detail and keep
Mhm.
going. Um,
Oh,
and
okay.
Jeff likes to use that who, what, when, where, why, and then how. How did you feel is a good one if you don't know what else to say. Like, how did it make you feel inside? Or as a consequence from this presentation, how did it help you or hurt you in the future? So that can bring out another tense. So
Mhm.
good. All right, let's move on to the next one. So, do you
Mhm.
think online
Thank
class
you.
is more effective than face to face and why? And you said, well, of course, maybe it depends. So, here you're going to talk about two sides. So, you've committed
Yeah.
yourself to having two sides that you have to share here. Um, so if you are prepared to talk about two sides, that's great. If you only want to talk about one, pick one side or the other. It doesn't matter, but just pick whichever one's your strongest. So it depends at this time because most of our educational instruction and people this time are on the computer. Maybe even at work. But comparing between the two, I would rather choose the face to face schooling because, first of all, I can concentrate. So instead of saying I here, we're going to change it into somebody besides you, even if you're talking about you. So you can
Okay.
say, you could say parents would most likely choose face to face schooling because their children are able
Okay.
to concentrate. They don't have to
Mhm.
pay for childcare, or they don't have
Yeah.
to give up their jobs to stay home with their children. And
Yeah.
A lot of youngsters are the kind of people who prefer that face to face instruction, that hands on teaching. Um,
Yeah.
that is really engaging. And then you said, on the other hand, online, it is very easy to access. You can wear any comfortable clothes you like pajamas, without thinking about the traffic. Um, and, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's lots of pluses, and you can access it at any time, usually. Usually, you can
Mhm.
access it at any time. But in terms of the way you learn, maybe it depends with the person, because though it is online, yeah, you can learn if you are alone, but that's not always good for some people. So here you have a few different things that you can talk about. You're talking about the learner themselves, so how they learn, and you also kind of touched on the teacher as well. So some students are good learning online, they're good learning alone, and some teachers are good teaching online, and some are really boring online.
Mhm.
So, which one of those do you feel more strongly about? And that's the one I would stick to. Do
Okay.
you feel the
So you
student
mean I
side or
will
the
mention?
teacher's? Yeah.
Yeah. So I will mention also the teacher side
Well,
for that question.
um, so do you think online class is more effective than face to face? Why or why not? Here it doesn't say if
Oh.
it's more effective for the student or the teacher, so it's really up to you how you present it. I think your
Mm-hmm.
stronger point is on the student side, so you can say, well, I think this really depends on the student.
Mm-hmm.
So those students who are self motivated and can set their own schedule and do not need someone constantly telling them what to do, online
Mm-hmm.
learning is a great option for them. However, if you have children with any kind of learning disability or any
Yeah.
kind of, you know, and children who might be active or young children who have a hard time sitting down for long periods of time, online learning can
Mm-hmm.
be very difficult, because it is not geared towards their learning style. You can go into the learning
Mm-hmm.
styles or
Yeah.
you don't have to mention it at all. So I would say leave the teachers out of it because you're really good about talking about the two kinds of students. But remember, don't talk about you as a student, talk about the student or the
As
child.
general.
Yeah, third person. So,
Third
and then
person.
what do you think the government should do to decrease the unemployment rate for fresh graduates? So let's use that word
I don't have any
fresh.
idea.
I don't either. But fresh
It's a
graduates
hard
would be,
question,
it is a
actually.
hard question. Fresh graduates, new graduates, um, uh, recent graduates, those are some different ways of saying fresh, new, and recent. So we
Yeah.
have more vocabulary there. Um, so let's brainstorm really
Sorry,
quickly here.
Mandy.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, Mandy. Actually, it's very rude for me. Some one that time I was kind of thinking like they should retire the baby boomers, but it's too rude.
I heard you
There's
say
no
that. That's
specific.
okay. Who
I
cares if
know
it's
there's
rude? Yeah,
yeah.
it's not the examiner can have no opinion on your answer. Their only
Yeah, I
opinion
know,
can
but
be, I know. I know.
mm-hmm,
Well, you could
mm-hmm,
even say that in your answer and you can say this might sound a little harsh, but the
mm-hmm,
government could give incentives for those people who have been in the workforce longer, like the baby boomers. They
mm-hmm.
could give them some kind of retirement incentive so they decide to leave the workforce
Leave the
and give
work. Yeah,
openings for the new graduates.
new
Because
graduates. That's a good
I mean,
idea.
the
Mm-hmm.
reason some people don't stop working is because they can't afford to. So if the government makes it
Right.
affordable for them to retire, then they can bring in,
Mm-hmm.
fresh workers and they don't have to pay them
Yeah.
as much, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said, to
Mm-hmm.
my mind, I guess the government. So make sure when you say government, you're going to say the government. So it's always the
Okay.
government, unless you're
Okay.
talking about them in plural, governments. So, to my mind, I guess the
Yeah.
government, they should provide jobs to the fresh graduates, even though it's maybe a bit lower wages or salary, just to provide job opportunities. Or, and you can say, this might sound harsh, but those baby boomers could be encouraged to work part time or retire
Mm-hmm.
completely So they leave openings in the workforce for new employees to come in. You could talk
Mhm.
about job fairs, job
Mhm.
training, interview
Yeah.
help, because sometimes people's resume or their CV is what
Oh.
keeps them from getting a job. So the government could
Mhm.
offer assistance on how to write a good resume, how to give a good interview, you know. And then I guess one thing you could say, and I only know this because I watched a video and it mentioned Filipino nurses. There was apparently an ad campaign in the Philippines from the United States years ago that kind of begged Filipino nurses to come to the United States. And I didn't know
Mhm.
this. But yeah,
Mhm.
you said governments could work with foreign governments. Local
Mhm.
governments could work with foreign governments to, encourage skilled workers to work abroad or to
Mhm.
take internships in other countries. So
Mhm.
that's another way they could do it. I don't know, there's a lot
Yeah.
of different choices. So
Yeah.
here you could say, I think there's a lot of things that the government could do to decrease unemployment for new graduates, but one thing, and then talk about that one thing that would be, and
Mhm.
you could say, I think that the main thing they could do is teach them how to get a job. And by this I mean giving assistance on how to write a proper resume, how to
Mhm.
dress and speak and act in an interview so that they are more successful when they do go and look for jobs. Unfortunately, you could say, I think nowadays children are just thrown out into the workforce after college with no assistance. And if we
Mhm.
show them how to get a job, how to write a resume, and how to present themselves, they might be more successful. So I've said there's lots of reasons, ways they can do it, but I'm only going to show you one because I don't want to talk about all those others because I
Mhm.
really don't know what they
Mhm.
are. And then
I
this
know
last
the
one,
question is so hard.
they are hard. This is Jeff's fault.
I
But he's just preparing you. He's actually doing everybody a favor by giving you really difficult questions that make you think and make you be flexible in a lot of different topics. So, and then do
Yeah.
you agree that every nation should accept migrant workers? Why? Or we could say, why not? And you said, I guess yes. First, because I'm a migrant worker, and because we should give other opportunities to other people because we have a different background. Let's say, for example, if they want to go to North America or Europe, that country should give that opportunity to that person to fulfill their dreams, first of all. If they have a good background with a very highly skilled person, and yeah, they can compete with the country. So they don't compete with the country, but they can compete.
Fit to
So this is a hot topic right
workforce.
here. Yeah, they can compete in the workforce. I wouldn't say compete
Workforce.
with, but they can
Okay.
be, let's say they can be competitive in the
Competitive.
workforce because when
Mhm.
you if I flooded the Philippines with a lot of highly skilled American workers, I only say American because that's where I'm from, the Filipino
Mhm.
people might be a little upset that your government allowed so many people to come and steal their jobs. So you have to be really careful about this one. But yeah,
I
so
know.
I mean, and I don't think it matters if you mention it during this conversation. I think that's fine. But you want to talk about
Mhm.
what a skilled worker, what what do they bring to a new nation? So they bring a
Mhm.
new culture, they bring new background, they bring a higher level of skills sometimes, and they also pay
Mhm.
taxes and they bring income. And so when they come to work there, they're going to spend their money there. So that helps boost the overall economy if you want to
Economy.
go to that positive rate. So you can say, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, I agree that every nation should accept migrant workers. I think they are a valuable part of the workforce. They bring, a diverse cultural background and new languages. And as well, they help boost our economy because they pay taxes
A
into,
taxpayer.
they become a taxpayer and they also become a
Payer.
spender. So they pay
Mhm.
taxes and they spend their money. So everyone benefits from having more people in the workforce. and then you can be
Mhm.
done. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Is that helpful at all?
Oh, yes, of course it
Okay,
is.
good. So we're going to focus on
Mhm.
when we start a sentence to complete it. And I didn't go over really quickly, but this is for anybody. When you find yourself saying a sentence and you don't want to finish that sentence or you don't like what you said, you can say, "What I'm trying to say is," and then just go back. Or, "What I mean to say is," and go
Mhm.
back to where you were. And it's kind of like a reset. So, or you can
Okay.
say, actually, let me start again. I don't know if you should say that, but kind of just maybe restate the question in a different way and then start again. So,
Mhm.
do you have anything you want to add, Jeff? I said a whole lot here. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, like what you said a lot. But yeah, the your strength is that we love the tone of your voice, the clarity. It's just only the repetition of thoughts and words, maybe because you are, pressured or nervous, and little bit organizing your answer. I think that's the most
Yeah,
difficult.
thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, but other than that, you seem confident and you have a lot of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I
You
was
have strong
thinking like
ideas.
if I will that's why maybe that's come to my thought like if I will not speak and then they will say, oh, she was end up her idea like she don't have enough idea to say something,
Yeah.
something
Anyway,
like that.
yeah,
So
good thing that you've been living in Canada for how long?
I live here for about 4 years.
Yeah, so at least that's a good
Yeah.
practice for your English. Unless you speak French
Yeah.
there.
Eh, Actually, sir, and Mandy, it really helps for us as a second, English is a second language. It really helps if you live in a certain place where English is the first language because you will be immersed with their language, first of all. And at work, I speak English. And then, well, at work, there are lots of Filipinos. We have Filipinos also there. That's why our supervisor or our manager keep getting mad at us because we talk. Some of my colleagues talk in Filipino. So why are you talking Filipinos? We are at work. You should speak English.
Yep.
Even our clients saying, "Oh, I don't understand what they're talking about." I said that's
Yeah.
why sometimes I'm telling to them, "Please talk in English. We are not
Yes.
here in the Philippines. We can
Yep.
talk Filipino language
No.
when we
I,
are at break, but
I,
during at work, no, you should speak."
actually, I
Yeah,
think the main reason for that is, to show respect, and you don't
Sure.
want to alienate other people because
yeah,
of
of
course, they were
course.
thinking you're saying bad things against them. So yeah, just to make this short,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true, sir. I agree with you. It's kind of mean. Like we don't. You are in the group, for example, you are in the group, and then they're talking different
Okay.
language, and you can't understand. And then you hear what they're talking. Of course, you feel like
Okay.
it's really mean. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
know that feeling sometimes. Like
Yes.
some of my colleagues,
Okay,
they're
me.
talking different language.
Okay,
Thank you
me.
for
Yeah.
I
going
know this
first,
is
Mel.
gonna be. I know this is gonna be mean, but we need to cut off. We need to go to another new member or new candidate for the
Yeah,
next
thank you
candidate.
for coming.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we don't have another question. So good luck.
Thank you so. First of all, I wanna say thank you so much to Sir Jeff. Like, I know Mandy. It's kind of last minute sending him a message that I wanna have speaking map test because he said to me last night that there is another person who's ahead of me booking this mock test, but I tried to ask him a favor if he can squeeze in my schedule just to accommodate. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for
Okay.
accommodating
Thank
or
you.
granting my request. Thank you so much. And of course,
Okay.
you, Mandy. It's really different if someone who's giving you a feedback who's a native speaker because you will learn and you will know which part of the speaking you need to improve or your mistakes. It's kind of different feedback. And And I guess that's the thing, we can improve our speaking test the day of exam. And you will know your weakness and strength where you are right now. So yeah, thank you so much. It's been
Thank you.
an honor to have a speaking test tonight. And of course, the
Okay.
participants, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
Neil.
Thank
So
Is
you.
it Ransa next?
yeah, next we have an international one. International.
Hello.
Hello, Rans.
Let's see. I think she has to unmute herself.
Okay, can you unmute? I will.
There we
Hello.
go. Hello. Can you pronounce your name for me so I say it right?
Yeah, it's right, Rensa.
Ransa. Hello. How are you? Where are you from?
Currently, I'm here in Kuwait, working as staff nurse here, basically from India.
Okay. Wonderful. Good. Are you ready to? Do you
Yeah,
have any
Ransa,
questions
where
for
you
us?
want? Yeah, where you want? Why do you need IELTS? Where you want? Where you plan to go?
I want to go to UK.
Yeah.
Should I say all the questions in a UK accent?
Okay, I'll give you now.
Okay. So, Ransa, what kind of shoes do you like to wear?
It depends. Being a nurse, I have to wear white colored shoes for my work. But whenever I go out for some brisk walking and all, I wear sneakers.
Good. And have you ever received shoes as a gift?
To be honest, until now, I never received any shoes as gift. But I have gifted my sisters shoes for their birthdays. Even a couple of months ago, it was my youngest sister's birthday. That time, I ordered from Amazon shoes for her, but unfortunately, it was not her size.
Okay. I'll share with you a shoe website that I like later. Do you think it's good to have different brands or designs of shoes, and why or why not?
Of course, I believe it is nice to have a different colors as well as branded shoes, because wearing the same type or same brand of shoes on a daily basis make us feel bored. Moreover, some may even look the appearance of the people, and shoes are considered as a status symbol also. So I think wearing different brands are good.
Good. All right, so that's the end of part 1. I'm just going to tell you real quick. There's a shoe website called Zappos. They have, you can order as many shoes as you want, try them on, and send them back for free. So there you go. All right, so we're going to move on to part 2, and I'm going to put it into the chat for you, and Jeff's got it on the screen. Can you see it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so describe a moment that you met a celebrity or famous person. You should say who is the famous person? How did you know this famous person? When and where you met that famous person? And how did you feel meeting that person? And you can have a minute to prepare now.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so that is 1 minute. And when
Okay.
you are ready, you can go ahead and start speaking.
Okay. Well, meeting celebrities or famous persons are really important in everyone's life. In my life, also, I have met a celebrity a couple of years ago. It was Shah Rukh Khan. He is one of the famous Bollywood Indian actor, and I came to know about him when I was in school. That time onwards, I started watching Bollywood movies, and Shah Rukh Khan was a romantic king. And I'm quite fond of watching romantic movies, and I'm a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan. A couple of years ago, here in Kuwait, to be more exact, it was in 2018, in connection with the New Year, the association, one of the famous associations here in Kuwait, organized a stage show, including some of the famous Indian actors and actress. By the time itself, I came to know that Shah Rukh Khan was coming as a chief guest. Really, I tried my best to get a pass for this event. Fortunately, I received a pass from my colleague, and I, along with my family, went there. That day, I got an opportunity to perform in the stage, and I have even got an opportunity to meet Shah Rukh Khan. Actually, I can't explain that moment. Really, I was on cloud nine as I was standing just next to him, and even I have even. Clicked some selfies with him and posted it on my Facebook as well as Instagram pages. On the very next day itself, I contacted my kit and team and explained everything in detail. Moreover, that photograph I have mounted on the wall of my living room. Whenever any new guests come to my house, that time I explain the whole story to them.
Excellent job. You're so lucky. Okay. Which movie was he in? What was one of the famous movies that he was in? Shah Rukh Khan?
Yeah, there are a lot of movies,
There's a
but
lot of them. Okay.
my favorite one is Dilwani Dulhaniya Le Jayenge.
Okay. So if I just Google him, I'll be able to find some. Okay. All right. Let's move on to part 3. So, what role do you think a famous person should play in society?
Mm, as far as I'm concerned, I believe the renowned person should have perform a lot of roles in society. First of all, they must be a role model, because most of the youngsters try to imitate the famous personalities such as film actors, actors, or even sports stars. So if they do something good to the society, for example, some charity works or even donations, they consider them as role models, and they try to follow this also. So I think it will be beneficial for the society. Apart from this, even in some advertisements, if our favorite celebrity conveys some advices, really we may listen as well as try to implement. So I think these are the main roles.
Very good. And do you think famous people should stay away from social media to have more privacy in their life?
No, I don't think so. They must stay away from social media such as Facebook or Instagram, because even same like other human beings, they are also humans. So they need to enjoy everything like other humans. But I think in most of the countries, they are not able to go outside, as well as their privacy is interrupted mainly by paparazzis as well as their fans.
Yeah. Okay. And should parents encourage their children to work in show business?
Could you please repeat, ma'am?
Should parents encourage their children to work in show business?
Share business?
Show business, movies.
Show
Music.
business. Okay.
Show business.
Okay. Well, I believe uh, some children are having innate talents in acting as well as in music. So I believe if the parents encourage their children to go in the path of music or movies, definitely they can come out in flying colors. So I believe, according to the talent of the children, the parents must give importance to their career.
Good. And that concludes the speaking portion of your test. You're done.
Okay.
How did you feel? How do you feel about the topics?
Oof. Topics okay, but I don't know because, ma'am, as I informed you earlier, I have attempted the exam thrice. I stuck at 6.5.
You're stuck at 6.5.
Speaking.
Okay, for speaking. Okay. And of
Mm.
course, they give you no reason why, right?
No.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
for me personally, your pronunciation is very good. You have some V and W, but that I believe is because of your mother tongue, and that does not
Mhm.
hinder your understanding or my understanding of you. So
Mm.
there's just a little bit like that. The main thing that I would love to see you do, Ransa, because you have such good ideas and you're very organized and you sound very confident, is I would love to hear you just kind of take a few pauses in between your
Mm.
ideas. So it's not like
Mhm.
long, talk. So let's talk about this first one. So, what kind of shoes do you like to wear? Well, it depends. So I'm going to read it like I think I heard you say it. Well, it depends. Being a nurse, I have to wear white colored shoes for my work, but whenever I go out for some brisk walking, I wear sneakers. And that's completely fine, but let me say it to you like you would be saying it to like friends. Well, it depends. Being a nurse, I have to wear white colored shoes for my work, but whenever I go out for some brisk walking, I wear sneakers. So do you hear me kind of taking some pauses in there? It doesn't sound natural to you probably, but it's very normal in the way that people talk. Um, so you want to make it sound like a conversation between friends.
Mhm.
And I know that nerves play a lot into it, especially when you're in part two. You want to get in all of the information about this celebrity that you got to meet and share all of it. And you made it right at the 2 minutes, but it was just a little fast. So, and that's okay. If you're going to lose one or two words to slow down and sound natural, I think that's fine. So, and then the second one, have you ever received shoes as a gift? This was a wonderful answer because you said, to be honest, until now, I have never received any shoes as a gift. So we can say gift, present, something like
Mhm.
that. But I have gifted my sisters shoes for their birthdays. So you don't have experience in this, but you have the opposite side. You were the giver instead of the receiver. So this is a great job. So if you could say, like, let's say somebody says to you, do you like bags? And you're like, to be honest, I really don't wear bags a lot, but my sister is a bag lover. She has to have a bag to match every outfit. And so you're able to develop it, even though it's not about you specifically, but you are related to it. So good job and good strategy to share with other people. And I liked how you said I ordered shoes from I ordered from Amazon shoes for her, but unfortunately, it was not her size. So, were you able to return the shoes?
Yes.
Okay. That's so disappointing when they come. And you could say that's one of the downsides of ordering online is you never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You never know if it's going to be the right size. Good. Okay. Good. And then I said, do you think it's good to have different brands or designs of shoes and why or why not? And you said, of course. I love every time you answer, Ransa, you give your opinion right away. There's no question as to, well, what does she think? I can't tell. You give it right away and you make that very well known from the beginning. So that's great. You said, of course, I believe it's nice to have different colors as well as branded shoes. So I said brands and designs. You said colors and designs. So that's good. um, because wearing the same shoes on a daily basis makes us feel bored. I think that's only a woman's thought. I don't think men think that usually. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And I loved how you also said, and shoes are considered as a status symbol. And this is so true. I don't know if this happens in your country, but here we have these shoes called like Air Jordans, and people would fight for them when I was a kid. Like, they're like, don't wear those shoes outside of the house. Someone will beat you up for those shoes. But you're right, they're considered as a status symbol. So, yeah, definitely. Good answer. All right, so now we're going to talk about this actor whose name Shah Rukh Khan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to pronounce his name when I say it. All right. So describe a moment you met a celebrity or famous person. So you said celebrities, famous person. You used more words, renowned persons. So great job talking about different ways. You can even say actor, actress, musician. You can talk about their specific industry as well. And I liked how you did what a lot of the friends in this group do. You said, well, meeting celebrities or famous persons are really important in everyone's life. So you give an overall statement about what it's like to meet someone famous. It's important to you, right? It's kind of like, hey, look at me, like your selfie on the wall. And you said, in my life, I have met a celebrity a couple of years ago. So you can just say, in my life, I met. You don't have to say, I have met. You can just say, I met a celebrity a couple of years ago. He is one of the famous Bollywood actors, and I learned about him in school. So you said, he is one of the famous Bollywood actors. I learned about him in school. I'm quite fond of watching romantic movies, and I'm a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan. So here you can take a few of those sentences and just put them as one longer sentence. So you could say, um, he is one of the famous Bollywood actors, and I learned about him in school. I'm quite fond of watching romantic movies, and I'm a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan. A couple of years ago, here in Kuwait, in connection with the new year, which is a great clause, one of the associations here in Kuwait, so you don't have to say Kuwait again because you already said it, one of the associations organized a stage show. I came to know that Shah Rukh Khan was coming as a chief guest. Fortunately, I received a pass from my colleague and for my family. And that day, I got an opportunity to perform on the stage and got an opportunity to meet Shah Rukh Khan. So, opportunity, another word for opportunity is chance. So, I got the
Thanks.
chance to meet Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, great. And you said, I can't really, and here, Ransa, is where you can throw your emotion into it and you can pause. You can say, I can't really explain that moment. I was on cloud 9. So you can slow it down and emphasize cloud 9. Like I was over the moon. I was head over heels is another way of saying it. I was on cloud 9. And you said, I have some selfies with him. And on the very next day, I contacted my kith and kin and told them about it. And you said, and moreover, and I liked how you brought it into today, to present tense. Moreover, I have this picture hanging on my wall, right? So that I can share it with everyone, share the story with everyone. So good. You did a really good job. Just, yeah, slow it down just a tiny bit and take some pauses in there. What role do you think a famous person should play in society? And here you kind of relaxed a little bit and you said, as far as I'm concerned, I believe the renowned person should perform a lot of roles in society. So here you're committing to saying at least one role. And you said first. So when you said first, you're going to have a second or some kind of additional one, and you did. So good job. First of all, they should be a role model because most of the youngsters try to imitate the famous personalities. So if they do something good for society, and you said, for example, if they do this or do that, they can use them as role models. So I think it will be beneficial. Apart from this, even in some advertisements. So you talked about they can be in advertisements for things. So really good answer. Good. And then the next one, I said, do you think famous people should stay away from social media to have more privacy in life? Here you said, again, but you can say, let's try to think of something different than You could say, well, I haven't really thought about that. Or you can say, that's an interesting question. Or, wow, I guess so. Or you came out and you said, no, I don't think so. Um, I don't think so. And you said, I don't think so. They should stay away. So I don't think so, period. And then you want to say, they shouldn't stay away from social media or they shouldn't avoid it. So, no, I don't think so. They should not stay away from social media. They are the same like other human beings, and they also are humans. So they need to enjoy things like this. But I think most of the countries, they are not able to go outside as well, as their privacy is interrupted by the paparazzi as well as their fans. So paparazzi and fans those are great words to use. So very good. Good. And you told me why, because they're human. They need that human interaction like we do. And then the last one, do you think, or should parents encourage children to work in show business? Have you heard the word show business before, or show biz before? Have you heard that before? Okay.
No, ma'am.
So I'm going to type it into the chat, show business, and some
Okay.
people call it showbiz or show business. It basically just means in the entertainment industry. So should they be actors and actresses? Should they be singers? Should they be musicians? Should these children be encouraged to be famous as small children or as young children? So what are your thoughts on that? And you said, well, I believe some children are having innate talents in acting as well as in music. So I believe if their parents encourage their children to go in the part of movies or music, definitely they can come out in flying colors. So we're going to say come out with flying colors. So come out with flying colors. So good. Here you didn't give your opinion so readily, like you didn't give it in the beginning right away, but you gave it eventually. So you said, I believe. So what are some other ways that we could say I believe? So you could say it's my belief or my opinion. So you could say something like that. You could say, well, it's my opinion that some children, not all, that some children have innate talents. So instead of saying I believe, we can say it's my opinion or my thought or my belief. You can also say belief. Good. So I would just encourage you to slow down just a little bit and add some pauses in there, which I know is very hard to do when you're nervous. Do you do any like breathing techniques or anything in your daily life, or when you feel frustrated? What do you do when you feel frustrated in life? Do you just scream?
Yes. Shout.
Okay, shout and scream. So if you were feeling frustrated and shout and scream instead, here we're just gonna take a pause and keep going and smile.
I will try from today onwards.
Yeah. So here, let me put one of your sentences in here. So I'm going to put the first part of your sentence in here. Can you see it in the chat? Well, I believe. So I want you to read it to me just normally how you would read it.
Well, I believe some children are having innate talents in acting as well as in music.
That is perfect. That's excellent. You slowed it down just like a tiny fraction of a second, and it sounds so natural. So that's beautiful. But yeah, you've got a lot of good things going for you. You don't sound nervous. You sound very confident, and your pronunciation is very good as well as your ideas are stellar.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Jeff, did you have anything you wanted to add? I know you were in and out.
No,
Yeah.
not
No. Well, for me, Ransa,
Thank
the
you,
way
sir.
Yeah, the way she speak, because I think that's normal in Indians because they talk fast,
I know, and
right?
that's why I'm
Because
trying
they
to
have
say.
colleagues.
I realize it's your native tongue. People talk fast. I
Mhm.
completely understand.
But
Yeah.
what I love with Ransa is her answer is not the one that I'm thinking. So
Yeah.
she's going a totally exact opposite. So that's a one way that you can capture the attention of the examiner. So that
Okay.
is really good move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very, very good. It's not just the typical answer. You're very innovative in your ideas as well.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
So Ransa, you said you were stuck in 6.5. During that
Yes.
time, are you with the group of IFNG or no? Not yet.
No, no, I recently only joined.
So
Okay.
good, because what I can hear, you are actually really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought she was with your group because, especially on part two, when she said, well, celebrities, and she says the
Yeah,
overall statement of celebrities, and then she talks about her story, which is completely your structure.
yeah. And plus, she also tried to use another words. So I
Yeah.
think you're doing good, and some idioms. So yeah, for me,
Okay.
I'm excited for your next result. Just keep on
Oh,
practicing.
okay, 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 sir.
And you need to
Okay.
come back, huh, to give us a good news.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Very much welcome. Okay,
Okay,
thank you so much,
okay,
Ransa.
okay. Thank you, thank you,
So
thank you,
let's
ma'am.
move on to our
Bye.
the last savior of the night. I'm calling Rodel. Thank you, Ransa. Bye. I will mute you now.
Okay.
Bye.
Hi, Rodel.
Hi, Mandy.
How are you
Oh,
today?
I'm a little bit nervous because this is the first time. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because this is the first time that I'm going to talk to you. And honestly, I'm not used to this. I feel like I'm intimidated every time I talk to a person who's really good at speaking English. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll try to make you feel less intimidated. I think you're taller than me. So does that help?
I don't think so. So
Okay.
let's
Okay.
try. I'm gonna try
Let's,
my best.
you're going to do great. I know you are. Okay.
Yes.
Wait. I just want to ask Rodel. Rodel, currently, where are you right now?
I'm here in the Philippines. That's why I'm quite sleepy because it's already
Uh,
12:30.
Oh, no. Okay. We'll
But
hurry.
I'm gonna try my
oh,
best. Don't worry,
yeah.
guys. Yeah.
You're just
Yeah. Thank
burning the midnight oil,
Oh,
according to
yeah.
our
Yes, yes,
members.
yeah.
That's me
And
every night.
I'm willing to sacrifice because I'm really eager to pass this examination. You know, guys, because this is one of the tests that I need to pass in order for me to achieve my dreams.
That's the right
Yeah.
attitude right there. There we go. All right, so let's get started. So, is it Rodel or Rodel? How do you pronounce it?
Rodel,
Rodel. Okay. So, Rodel, do you like your mobile phone?
definitely. For me, my mobile phone is part of my life because I could do anything with it. Like for example, I could communicate with my friend using that kind of technological gadget. And every time I'm bored, I could also utilize it to watch some videos on some sorts of social medias in order for me to distress myself.
Good. And what are the drawbacks of your phone?
I can say that it is sometimes addicting. And even if I don't need to use it, I can't stop myself from utilizing it. Even if I'm so busy, like a while ago, I was writing an essay and then I couldn't help myself. You know, it distracted me. So I think that is one of the downsides of my phone.
Good. And what social apps are installed on your phone?
I have many applications on my phone, like Instagram and Facebook, as well as Twitter. And those are some of the social medias that I usually use every day in order for me to let my hair down with my friends by just talking to them. Because for me, that is a vital gadget, and those applications are useful nowadays, especially that we are not allowed to go outside.
Mm. Okay, so we're going to move on to part two. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, I'm
All right.
ready.
Let me get my timer ready.
Okay.
All right. And so Jeff
Let's-
has it on the screen, and I'm going to put it into the chat as well. And so, Rodell,
Okay.
we're going to describe
Okay.
describe the a best or
Wait.
the best. One second.
Wait a minute. I'm so sorry.
That's
There's-
okay. I'm
there's
not
another-
starting yet. I'm
Okay.
not starting.
Okay, go on. Okay,
Can
go on.
you
I'm so sorry.
can you see it okay?
Yes. It's now
Okay.
visible.
All right. So describe the best birthday you've ever attended or watched. You should say whose birthday you attended or watched, when and where it was held, what people were wearing, and why you think it was the best. And you can have a minute to prepare now. Okay, Rodell, that is 1 minute. And
Okay,
when
perfect.
you are ready, you can tell me about your birthday.
Yes, I'm ready.
Go right ahead.
Okay, perfect. So there were so many birthday celebration that I watched before and I attended before, like the birthday celebration of my father, my mother, and some of my friends. But this time, what I have decided to talk about is a birthday celebration that I attended in 2019. It was my grandmother's birthday occasion. And that time, if my memory serves me right, all those clothings that people were using were very simple. Other people were other people were using or wearing t-shirts and shorts, while some of the people there were wearing that kind of outfits like pants and then casual clothes. And it was because we wanted to move or behave comfortably according to the outfit that we wanted at that time. And I really love that kind of occasion because there were so many things that we did. Since it was the party, there was a karaoke because here in the Philippines, traditionally, we love singing, even if we're not musically inclined people. And I think that is one of our ways to unwind and distress ourselves with our family. And I could definitely say that that time we had the chance to strengthen our relationship as a family and as friends because it was an important birthday celebration that my grandmother had. And as far as I know, the family or the member of our family that time were complete. So we were able to talk. And on top of that, we also dance. Honestly, it was a great night and it's memorable. So maybe next time I will celebrate again some occasions, even if it's not a birthday party with some of my friends and with my family, because I know that that would help us. Okay.
Finish your sentence. That would help us.
That would okay. That would help us to become elated because that time we were so over the moon.
Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to move on to part 3. Okay, so do you think people should spend a lot of money on their birthdays?
Well, it depends upon the personality and the status of life of every person. If they are wealthy, then I think there's no problem with that because our birthday celebration or the birthday of every person is only once in a blue moon. So I think it's better if we will always live our life to the fullest. And I think that is one of the important celebrations that we need to celebrate in order for us to make it memorable. However, I could say that for some less fortunate people, they need to become practical because there are so many primary needs or basic necessities that they need to consume or to buy every day because those needs are part of survival.
Good. And should citizens of your country encourage the national or local governments to have more national parks?
I'm so sorry. Can you please repeat the
Of
question?
course, yeah. Should citizens of your country encourage local governments to have more national parks?
National parks for
Mhm.
vehicles. Am I right?
Parks, not parking, national
Okay.
parks.
Parks. Okay. Could you please paraphrase that question or the word?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Should citizens of the Philippines encourage the government to have more preserved public land?
Okay. Public land. So I think so. I think the citizens have the right to encourage the government since they are also give their contribution annually, like for example, tax or some tariff from trading. And I think in order for the government to satisfy the citizens of every nation, like here in the Philippines, I think it would be better in order for us to feel that we have rights because as far as I know, Philippines is one of the democratic country in the world. And apart from that, I think everyone would benefit from that.
Good, excellent. And do you believe humans can live without animals or animals can live without humans? And why or why not?
I don't think so. I disagree with that. It's because human and animals are part of ecological system. And I think if there's no animals, then it would be hard for every tree to grow. As well, people would also have hard time to have food. And I think people would also get sick or die if there are no foods because there are some substance nutritional value that people could get from animals like protein. I know that it is also present at or in fruits or vegetables. However, there are animals that if we could consume, then we could, I think, gain a lot of nutritional values. And aside from that, I could say that animals are also important in terms of entertaining other people because here in the Philippines, some of the sources of happiness are dogs, cats as their pets. As well, I think animals would also not live in this world without people because as far as I know, people are here to feed them and to give them habitats because some of the animals don't have home because these days we have been facing global warming and I think it would also distract the forest. So without people, I think there are no individuals who could fix that kind of problem for animals.
Good. And that concludes the speaking portion of your test. You're
So,
done.
I don't know if I did well. I don't know if I did well. I'm so sorry.
Did I forget something, Jeff? No, no, no. Okay.
I'm just signing peace because of the
Peace.
question.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So, how do you feel about the types of questions that you were given, Rodel?
Uh, it's quite hard. It's because for me it's unexpected, and I don't know if I did well a while ago. I think I had a lot of hesitations, and I was stuttering because of my nervousness. And honestly, I'm very thankful right now because this is what I want. This kind of practice where I can talk
Okay.
to people. You know, I can talk in
Yeah.
front of you guys because this would really help me to boost my confidence. Since my main issue whenever I speak is my self esteem. It's so
Okay.
slow. So it's too low. I'm so sorry.
No, no, it doesn't seem, I'm not saying you seem full of yourself because that's rude to say, but you seem appropriately confident because you should be, because your communication is very good. So you did an excellent job. I didn't hear any stuttering that wasn't natural. So I didn't hear any true stuttering like a real stutterer. The hesitations that I heard were normal. They weren't like, oh, what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? They were just pausing as you're thinking of what idea you were going to say next, which is what normal people do in any language. Every single second does not have to be filled with an utterance or a sound. And it's okay to have pauses. So you did great. You did an excellent job. You seem confident, even if you're not. And your vocabulary is great. Your pronunciation is wonderful as well. And you talk not, I'm not saying you talk fast, but you say enough words that I cannot keep up with you typing. So, which is good. You know, I can only, paraphrase what you said or give some words, but let's go over your answers. Part one, you seem very comfortable with because we're talking about mobile phones. And so that's kind of your generation, right? You guys were born with phones when you came out of your moms, pretty much. So, do you like your mobile phone? This is a deceptively hard question because the answer is yes. What more do I need to say? But you gave me a very good answer and you told me why. So, definitely, for me, my mobile phone is part of my life. For example, I can communicate with my friends. And you talked about, and every time I'm bored, I can use it. So you talked about different ways that you can use your phone. So this is a great example that you gave, Rodell, to other people. Do you like your mobile phone? When the examiner doesn't say why, you need to say why. And that will help you extend your answer. And you did just that. Good. And then the second one, what are the drawbacks of your phone? You said, I can say that it is sometimes addicting. And even if I don't need to use it, I can't stop myself from utilizing it. So, use and utilize as two great words to use. You gave a specific example here. You said, even a little while ago, I was working on an essay and I didn't need
Yes.
to touch my phone, but I did. And I feel your pain here. I was working on some essays and I'm like, oh, who sent me a message? Oh, what's in the news? Oh, what's going on? No, I need to throw it across the room and get it out of my hands. So, yeah, you're right. It becomes a little bit addicting. And so these answers may seem quick and short, but they are actually very to the point and very well developed. So don't think that you have to keep going on and on, especially in part one. This is a great example of a good answer. And then the next one, what social apps are installed on your phones? You said I have many applications on my phones. So I said app, you said applications. So great job. Like Instagram and Facebook, as well as Twitter. And those are some of the social media that I use every day in order to let my hair down by talking to my friends. And you said, and those applications are useful. So again, they didn't ask why, but you told why, which is very important. And that helps you to extend it. If you needed to extend more on any of these, you could say what applications you want to have. Or you can talk about the drawbacks of your phone. You could say what you're trying to do to not be addicted to your phone. Or, if you wanted to, you can always take kind of the opposite of what the question is asking you and share some more on that side, like the flip side of the coin, to give more, to develop it more. But you didn't have to. I think you said enough. So, and then the second one, describe a best birthday you've ever attended or watched. Have you been part of Jeff's and Gladys's and Marvin's group for very long?
Yes, I've been part of IFNG for I think 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, good. So you've got that strategy down where they say, there were so many birthday celebrations that I watched and attended before, like my mother's, my father's, and one of my friends. But this time I'm going to tell you about one I attended, and it was for your grandmother in 2019. Wonderful, beautiful introduction. You said, if my memory serves me right, and you talked about what people were wearing. People were wearing shorts and t-shirts. You went into a lot of detail there. And if you wanted to, you could kind of cut that and just say people were dressed casually. They were dressed informal because, it wasn't a fancy party. It was just to celebrate my grandmother. So you could say casually, informally. And you said because we wanted to move and behave comfortably. So, yeah. And you said, I really loved the things that we did there. And then you specifically talked about karaoke. So you can talk about the food, you can talk about this, you can talk about that, but you did a really good job going into one specific part of the party or one piece of the party and developing that well. So you don't have to talk about 15 different things that happened at the party, but picking one and talking about it is great. And you did a good job. So you said there was karaoke because here in the Philippines, we love singing, even if we are not musically inclined people. Because I think that is one of the ways to unwind and de-stress with our family. I think we had the chance to strengthen relationships as family and friends. And as far as I know, you talked about that. And then on top of that, you said, honestly, it was a great night. So maybe next time I will celebrate, so you're talking about maybe it's been too long since I've had a party like this. So we need to do it again because I want that same feeling again that I had. So you had some great connectors and great discourse markers. So on top of that, honestly, it was a great night. Maybe in the future I will do this. So yeah, a lot of great information and vocabulary here too. Good. All right. And then do you think people should spend a lot of money on their birthdays? And you said, well, it depends on the personality and the status of life of the person. So their socioeconomic status, how much income they have. If they are wealthy, I think there is no problem with that. The birthday celebration is once in a blue moon. However, I could say that for some less fortunate people, they need to become practical, or they need to show some practicality. Because there are so many primary needs or necessities that they have that come first, right? They have to prioritize their needs. So this one is a great. You talked about wealthy and you talked about less fortunate. So less fortunate is a nicer way of saying poor people. So good, excellent job. And then the next one we talked about were national parks. So I know national parks in the United States. Jeff, can you throw out any national parks that the Philippines has? The names of any?
Yeah, I think there's a new, not really new one, like a couple years ago, I just saw this on Facebook or social media, like Geo, the one in Rizal province,
Mimi is saying
Mansugi,
Luneta,
Mansugi.
Rizal,
Like is it
Neong.
Okay.
no, it's a Mansugi National Park where it's like forest, similar like Yosemite. And then
Yeah,
there's
Yosemite.
another, yeah.
So Rodel, when I say national park, do you understand now what a national park
Okay.
means?
I want to be honest. A while ago, I didn't understand it. Now I understand that it's about
Good.
part. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's part. It's
So
just I misunderstood it
okay.
a while ago. Yeah. Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
he's
Part.
overthinking this. He's
Yeah.
overthinking this.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
he
right about
knows.
that. I was overthinking a while ago, and then because of
However,
that,
you went around it. A really good
yes,
job
you're
going.
right.
You like
I tried.
kind of danced around. I don't know what a park is, but these people should
Yes,
have the right to request one.
yes, you're right
So
about that. I tried to become wise a while ago. Like, okay, this is about citizen, and we have the
mhm,
rights to ask, and then we are
good.
also giving our contribution, like our tax. And
Exactly.
honestly, I haven't understood that, but what I tried was I said because I know that people could also benefit from it, even if I totally misunderstood that.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know what it is, but they can benefit. Yeah, that's great.
yes,
No, you looked at some keywords. So, citizens of your country
yes, you're right.
encourage the national government and they to have more. So, it's something that they want and they're asking for. So, you're like, okay, citizens, government. Okay, we're going to talk
You're
about their
right.
rights as citizens and why they have rights. So, you did a great job here, kind of going around the issue. But
Yes.
if you wanted to add any more or talk about it again. So let me share your answer. You said, I think the citizens have the right to say that since they give their contribution annually through their taxes. And I think that in order for the government to satisfy the citizens, I think it would be better,
Yes.
they to do this. You said, in order for us to feel that we have rights. And I think this would benefit everybody. I don't know what it
Yes.
is, but it's going to benefit us. So
Yes.
now what would you say instead?
Okay. For now, if for example, I understand the question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer that like this. Of course, I think citizens need or have the rights to ask the government about the national park because it would really help our mental health. Because here in the Philippines, for example, there are so many parks where people could distress themselves with their family, because it's not only for young people, because some of the parks here serve as playgrounds for children. However, it could also be used by old people to rejuvenate, because most of the parks here in the Philippines are surrounded by trees. So I think it would really help them to feel the fresh air.
Mhm.
So I think those would
Yeah.
be my answers. I would be more specific now because I already understand it. I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. This is
Yeah.
a good learning opportunity. So I put
Yes.
into the chat a national parks and vocabulary for national parks. Some people call them a reserve or a
Yes.
preserve, a national forest, a sanctuary, conservation area. It basically is just a piece of land that cannot be urbanized and not be developed. So they can be green spaces, they can be forests, hills, any kind of land, and we have a lot of them in the United States, and they are run by the government. They're usually free to enter, they're maintained through tax dollars. So you are right in saying people pay their taxes, so they have a right to
Yes.
ask for these kinds of places because that's what their money is going to. So good.
Yeah.
And then Michael is saying there are 250 protected and 35 national parks in the Philippines. So areas. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Good. And yeah, you can say it's good because if there were no national parks, every single piece of land would be developed. And then where could people go to relax and unwind and to spend time in the fresh air? They would just be, in kind of an urban jungle versus a real jungle. So good. All right. And the last one, do you believe humans can live without animals or animals can live without humans and why? And you said, I don't think so. I disagree with that. And like how you said it twice to me because you're like, no and no. You said it's because humans and animals are part of the ecological system. So, yeah, they're part of the same ecological system. Um, so, there is a specific term. It might come to me later, but it's escaping me right now. And you said, I think if there is not and if there is not animals or if there are not animals, it would be very hard for every tree to grow. So you can go specific, that's bees. Bees are still considered
Yes.
animals. If we don't have bees, we don't have growth. And you said, and I think people would get sick or die. And if there's also nutritional value that people could get from animals, like protein. I know it's also present in fruits and vegetables, but if there's animals that we can consume, we could gain lots of nutritional value. And I loved how you said, and I could say that animals are also important in terms of entertaining other people. So we can say they are companions. They offer companionship
Yes.
and friendship. So that's those scientifically proven. Those kinds of animals go into hospitals and with nursing homes all the time. And, as far as I know, people are here to feed them, to give them the habitats, because some of the animals don't have homes these days. I wouldn't go into global
Yes.
warming and that because honestly, that's our fault. If we hadn't been
Yes, you're
here,
right.
they wouldn't have that problem.
You're right. And you know, Mandy, I just prolong my answer using global warming because I was running out of ideas. But honestly, I
Yeah,
think
I
that
don't
I was quite wrong with that.
Yeah, if I look at the length of your other two part three questions, this one is triple the length. So you could have ended when you're talking about, and as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, also people give animals, they provide food for them. It's sort of, and we can say, I don't know if you've heard this term before, it's like a symbiotic relationship. It's a mutually beneficial relationship where the animals provide food and comfort and resources, as well as the humans provide those same things to the animals. So it's kind of they're interwoven, and then you can end. So you can say,
Yeah.
in short, okay, we're going to use what Steph says. In short, if
Say,
animals were missing from the chain of life or humans were missing from the chain of life, I think things would go horribly wrong or something like
Mandy,
that.
I
Yeah.
was thinking about the chain of life a while
Thank
ago.
you,
I
Steph.
was thinking, yeah, thank you very much. I was thinking about chain of life. I wasn't able to say it because, oh my God, What's
Yeah,
that word
so
again? I'm so
it's
sorry. I couldn't.
chain of life, and then sometimes we can also say the life
Yes.
cycle.
Yes.
So if you're thinking about it, goes around in a circle. So there is the food chain as well. So even though humans are higher on the food chain, if you take out a piece of the chain, then it falls apart. Um, so yeah, you could say they're definitely mutually beneficial to one another, and actually necessary, not just beneficial. So yeah, leave out the global warming, and everything else you said
Yes.
is beautiful. So I do
Yes.
think this is wonderful. Even though you might think that one part about national parks is a big fail, it's not a fail at all. You did a great job going around it. You looked for keywords that you already did know. You were confident and asked me to say it again and to rephrase it, which I think some people are afraid to do. This is your test. You are paying the money for this. You ask for what you need. The worst they can say is no. I know.
Yes.
So, and then Jeff, do you have some to add?
Yeah, I would just like to read the comment of Marvin. He actually sent it to me directly.
Okay.
Some yeah, according to Marvin, some repetition of words, like for example, redundant, and then there's a lot of period, full stop. Fluency wise, lots of fillers, but idea was great and enunciation of word was commendable. Tonality as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
I would agree with that because I love your voice.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
that's
very
also
much.
one of the strength if you have a good quality of voice. If you have, if for example, if you're a singer, even though you're saying and not a good content, but if I like your voice, I can say I can give you good
Good
score.
intonation.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have
So,
any
yeah.
questions for us, Rodell? I think that whatever you are doing, continue doing. Um, and as well, maybe just to make sure that you're well versed in a lot of topics is don't stop reading about, just maybe
Yeah.
small news articles here and there, or just articles in general. I think on the IFNG group, they put out something to read
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
So, and because you're worried about the speaking, don't just read it out loud. Um,
Yes, you're right
Even
about
if you're
that.
going to
I
annoy
usually do
people.
that.
Good. Yeah. Read it out
Yes.
loud, and even read it more than once out loud. So, yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
I'm
you
so
you.
have
very
you're
thankful.
on the right track.
You are on the right track. Yeah.
Yes, and you have the right attitude as well.
Thank you very much, sir. I
Yeah.
am so very thankful right now because you guys gave me the chance to do this. Before I was just watching you, watching Mandy and everyone here, like you, sir, giving the comments to other people. And now, a while ago, I was able to talk. Honestly, this is one of my goals before I take my exam to talk to you guys, to talk to Mandy because it's different. If I'm going to talk to a native speaker, because talking to a person or a Filipino is quite different from that. Now I feel like, okay, I think I can do this because I was able to talk to Mandy. Mandy is a native speaker. And that's my main problem. Whenever I talk to other people in English, I get nervous. So a while ago I felt like yes. I don't know if I did well, but um that was a good try. Yeah.
No,
You
I think
guys
you did do
improved
well.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Rudel, and for everyone, I think this is just only our main goal to get out of your shell, be brave,
Yes.
and do not hide yourself just to speak. Because most of the members, well, I could not blame them because it depends on the personality. But we
Yes.
encourage everyone.
Yeah, and I will say, I know I can't speak for every native English speaker, but most of us don't want to like attack you or hurt you. We love hearing people talk. It makes us feel like you're trying to connect with us. So don't be afraid to speak English to us, because that shows us that you really care, and that you want to be a part of whatever we're saying. It's not like we're like, oh, sorry, you have an accent, you're not allowed to talk. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So I can say from the flip side, I'm having a student right now who speaks almost 100% Spanish. I know maybe 50% Spanish, and she is very appreciative of my baby talking Spanish when I try to talk to her, because she said it shows her that I care and I'm trying to communicate with her. So I know it's
Yes.
completely different for an IELTS examination, but we're talking about in real life. Don't be afraid to try to talk to other people that speak English. They are
Yes.
usually
Thank you
nice.
very much.
You're
So
Yeah,
yeah,
welcome.
thank you very
thank you
much,
so much,
Mandy.
Rodel. Before we end
Thank
this
you.
session, yeah, thank you. Just only clarification of the questions. Well, actually, I'm doing this type of question just only to get out for the common IELTS question, which are
Mhm.
practiced commonly in our IFNG. So you're doing that on our daily practice or a group practice. So now we're putting on another level. So
Which is
let's make
good,
it more
sir.
challenging, because the most important is just only to speak.
Mhm.
Yes, which is good. How, sir, what can you say? What are the criticisms, other criticisms that you could
I
say?
would agree with Mandy and Marvin, because Marvin is very keen with giving comments, because me, I'm doing double job right now, Zoom and Facebook. But what I could say, yeah, j- just try to read more articles so for the ideas. And if you don't understand the question, well, actually you did it to us again. But I'm
Yes.
Yeah.
almost thought that he didn't know the national park.
Yes, I
So I was
misunderstood it.
skeptic.
That's
I
okay.
misunderstood it. I think that you were asking me about parking. Oh my God, parking,
Mhm.
but
That's
national.
okay.
I think there's, but yes, like Mandy said, I considered the word citizen, the government, and I tried to be safe a while ago, and I was thankful that I did.
No, you did.
Yeah.
You made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
so for my final advice, well, just really focus on question. Okay, make sure you understand
yes,
so
I
you
should
can
be
give
mindful.
a correct answer.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. I should be mindful of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe also because of
and
nervousness, you know. So
Mhm.
that's it. Thank you
yeah.
very much, guys.
And just only to remind everyone, because I just heard from the group that some are giving mean comments in their daily practice. So please just try to be more respectful, and to all those receiving comments, please don't be too much sensitive, because we are here to improve. Okay, let's not
Sure.
fight.
Yes, you're right, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Rodel, and to other candidates. But before we end this, Mandy, just only for the information of everyone, 4th of July is coming. Could you please tell us what is 4th of July and how do Americans celebrate this?
We set a lot of things on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 4th of July. It's Independence Day. It's our independence from the UK, from the Queen. So we became our own nation. So yeah, and we have everything red, white, and blue. We have a lot of red, white, and blue beer cans and Coke cans and everything. People wave their flags, and then they definitely shoot off a lot of fireworks.
Yeah. And the famous food on the table.
I mean, what?
Also,
Watermelon, fried chicken.
turkey.
What? Turkey's for
Turkey.
Thanksgiving. That's for
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
sorry. Yeah, I apologize. But
No,
yeah,
no,
I
no.
agree with
It's
you about
mostly like
the
hot dogs.
yeah. But I would agree with you with fireworks, because my brother-in-law, maybe they're watching because they like our page now.
Yeah. So
They
is he
spend a lot
buying
of
legal
money.
or illegal fireworks?
Yeah, that's definitely legal.
Well, I can say here in our neighborhood, you can drive and people are shooting off sort of legal fireworks. But yeah, definitely in the part of the United States where they're having so much heat, be very careful. They don't want to start a wildfire over fireworks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
Okay.
fun.
So yeah, that's all, everyone.
Thank you very
Okay, thank you so
much
much. Hi to
again.
Gladys and Marvin.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
okay, thank you, Mandy and everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you, Mandy.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Rodel. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
very much, Mandy. Thank you.